Welcome back to the Word Expanded, the Gospels. We're working through the Gospel of Matthew. We just made it to chapter 10, and we're in the first four verses, which is the calling of the 12 apostles. So it says, starting in verse 1, and he called to him his 12 disciples and gave them authority over unclean spirits to cast them out and to heal every disease and every affliction. The names of the 12 apostles are these: Simon, who's called Peter, Andrew, his brother, James, the son of Zebedee, John, his brother, Philip and Bartholomew, Thomas and Matthew, the tax collector, James, the son of Alphaeus, Thaddeus, Simon the zealot, and Judas Iscariot, who betrayed him. I think it's good for us to look at this. It's not just a listing of the 12 apostles. It's not just a listing of the people that Jesus chose. And there's great value in just talking about these men and saying, that Jesus chose them, right? Out of all the people on the planet at that moment, these were the 12 that were chosen, right? But he chose them for a reason and for a purpose. And it says in the very first verse that he gave them authority over unclean spirits to cast them out and to heal every disease and every affliction. Do you read verse 1 and go, holy cow, right? Jesus gave them authority to deal with unclean spirits, the demonic, and then gave them the authority and the power to heal every disease, right? Every affliction, not some of them. He didn't go around and say, hey, pick out the cancer stuff, pick out this or that. It's everyone, right? Every single disease. He gave them that authority, that power to take care of people, to free them. Goes along with the mission, right? It says that Jesus came to do. He came to free people. So again, you can look at this, and there's a lot of people who look at this and say, well, all that ended, that was just for the 12 apostles. Well, it's kind of hard because it wasn't just the 12 apostles who got this. The 70 also got this, right? So there's a little bit of a stretch there to say that God only gave this to certain people. And then again, there's also other people in the New Testament, when we start reading in Acts, people who were doing works and wonders, right? There were also 120 people sitting waiting for Pentecost that's coming up in the next week. So we look at this and say Jesus gave people the power and the authority to do these kind of things. These are the same things that we're to carry on the mission of Jesus. These are the same things that we should be looking at, right? But most of us look at it in I could never do that kind of a mindset. But as you read this, these 12 were chosen and given power and authority to do those things. So I'm going to challenge you this week to look at this maybe from a fresh perspective, a different look, and say, hey, wait a second. Maybe God has called me to deal with unclean spirits. Maybe God is dealing with me to go out and have the power and the authority to deal with healing, right? Healing every disease, every affliction that comes about. Again, you got to decide whether you believe Jesus is the same yesterday, today, and forever, or whether he stopped doing those things for just a period, did them for a period of time and stopped doing them now. Right? Once you decide your philosophy on that, well, that's going to set you up for what you believe your mission is, what you believe God has called you to do. And again, notice this wasn't the mission, right, of going out and telling everybody about Jesus. This was going out and practically taking care of the needs of people. So what's God calling you to do today? We'll see you next time right here at The Word Expanded, the Gospels.